Hi Fiskateers, my name is Genevieve and I'm Fiskateer number 839. Today I'm going to be making a little flower, and as you can see I have a whole lot of supplies out that we're going to use. Everything from our Fiskars scissors to the cute little stamp press. I have a Fiskars acrylic stamp here ready to go. And we're going to use as many Fiskars tools as we can, from punches to the little tool taxi, the tweezers, you name it, we're going to try and use it. So let me go ahead and clear off my work surface. We're going to start with a nice white piece of cardstock, and we're going to go ahead and get our acrylic stamp. If you haven't used the mini stamp press before, it's made by Fiskars. It has 4 little foam feet, and you just get your acrylic stamp and stick it right on top. I'm going to use archival ink because I am going to be wetting my image and that I'm stamping on cardstock. So I'm just going to swipe over the stamp because I don't want a crispy image. I just want a soft muted application. I'm just going to put it down. And I'm going to stamp along the edge because I'm going to be punching it out, so it's just easier if it's along the edge. Just going to press down, give it a little rub with my fingers, a little burnish, so I get a nice clean stamped image. And there we go. And now that I've done that, I'm going to go ahead and get my Fiskars punch, and I'm going to use the scalloped flower, and I'm going to punch out 8 to 10 of these. So just slide it right in and give it a squeeze. There you go. So here's my little stamped image, and in the interest of time I've already done 8 of these for you. Now to make these pliable, because it is cardstock that I'm using, I'm going to give them a little mist. So in the supplies you saw earlier, I had a little mini mister. Just going to give these all a good spritz. This is because I want to wrinkle them up and make them into a cute little flower bed. So in case you're not big on folding, you just get them, give them a nice little wrinkle, make them into a bed. And you can wrinkle them up into a ball beforehand if you want to give your flower more texture, and then come back and make them into a little bud, whichever works for you. It just depends how much body you want your flower to have. So I'm just going to wad these up real quick. And the more you wrinkle them, the more texture and the fuller your flower will be. So after you've had crumbling them all, you want to form them into little buds. I'm sorry, you want to stack them. Then we're going to form our buds. So, going to unfold them all. And as you can see, they're very pliable because we wet them. So, there's 7 of them. Here's the 8th one. Now you can see it's nice and dimensional. I'm going to stack them up, and I'm going to get my paper piercer, and without piercing your finger, I'm going to find the middle and bore a hole all the way through. Okay, you want to give it a little wiggle because you're going to put a brad in here, so you want to make sure your hole's big enough. So, see my hole right there? I'm going to get a brad. Place it right in the middle. Your brad can be as big or as small as you want. I'm just going to go ahead and fold the legs open so hold my flowers to behave. And then I'm just going to go ahead and grab my little embossing tip. I'm going to make my little buds around that. Once I've got that going, I can go ahead and grab it with my fingers and give them a pinch as I go. As you can see, it's already very dimensional and nice and looking like a rosebud. And keep going until I'm done with all of the buds. Once I have them all nice and standing up, we're going to go ahead and mush it down a little bit so it won't be so wide. And we're going to kind of fold over some of the petals a little bit. Okay, so now you can see it's very big. And now we're just going to go ahead and with our thumbs, just going to give it a little nudge over. I'm going to come in with some distress ink. I have two colors here, a brown, frayed burlap, and rusty hinge. I'm just going to hit it with a little bit of each color. Now you can distress it beforehand. I want it to pick up more of these wrinkles, so I'm doing it after the fact. And we are going to spray this with a little glimmer mist and some other things, so this color is going to bleed a little bit. And you just want to apply as much ink as you like. There we go. You can see my little purple brad peeking through right there. So if I want to show it more, just mush down the center more, so it'll show. Now that I have that done, go ahead and set my ink, my tool aside, and I'm going to use my little palette stamp and stick glue pad, which you can see gets lots of love, and I'm just going to mush all over this, along the edges. And now that I've done that, I'm going to grab a white sheet of paper, and I'm going to use some ultra thick embossing enamel. I'm just going to go ahead and coat my flower, give it a little bit of everywhere. This is quite sticky, so I'm going to go ahead and use my little Fiskars tweezers, dump the bulk of that back in. And to use these, you just pinch to release and let go for it to clamp shut. So I'm going to set this aside for a second. I'm going to dump all this back in the jar. Underneath my foam stamping mat, I have a mat from Glam Tattered Angels, the Glimmer Mist people. Now I'm just going to go ahead and apply some heat to this. It's a heat resistant mat, so it'll be fine. And ultra thick embossing enamel is just wax beads, so they take a little bit to dry. Just want to keep moving your heat embossing tool so you get an even melt going. It's also another good time when these little tweezers come in handy, because if I needed to hold it in place, I can do that with my tool without worrying about burning my fingers. I've got a little in there on my brad. Make sure I melt it up. Okay, well, it's still nice and hot. Since we're Fiskars, I figured we'd like something nice and orange. So I was lucky enough to win a rack not too long ago of some vintage orange glitter. So I'm hoping while it's nice and still hot, I can dump it in here and pick some up along the edges. And it'll melt right into my wax. So I'm just going to jump in here. Pick up some of that glitter and go ahead and grab it. Laying nice and flat. There we go. I'm going to apply a little more heat. Let that glitter just seep into the wax that's already there. See, it just soaked right in there. It's nice and melted in there. There you go. Give you guys a close up. So it's just parked right in the wax. Now, I'm going to give it a few spritz of Jack-O-Lantern Tattered Angels Glimmer Mist. Give it a little tap tap. Pick up some of that color. And go ahead and dry it off. Now if you're more of the painting sort, you can always grab your paint dabber. I love pearl. And you can hit the little edges with that. I might give it a little bit more of a heat so I can melt some of that loose glitter into place. Alright, you can see our little purple brad peeking through there. Now, I thought I'd have some fun with this flower. It's cute as it is. You could stick it on a card, you could stick it on a layout, you could do all kinds of stuff with it. You could put it on your Halloween goodie bags. There's tons of stuff you could do. I happen to have this little headband hanging out that I've had forever. Just been sitting in my drawer. I don't wear it, but it's really cute. So I thought, I'm going to have some fun with this flower. And I just went ahead and opened up the legs of the brad and I started layering things. So this is a piece of Mayart's ribbon. I'll show it to you here. Looks like this when you begin. And I just went ahead and slid it into my punch right through the top. Just finagled it in there and I gave it a punch. So I'm going to go ahead and stack it on here. And then I had some ribbon that I thought would be cute. So just a piece of orange ribbon. I just looped it over, stuck my brad legs through there, just like so. You can open it as wide as you'd like. And then I have this cool little funky piece of ribbon here. Reminds me of spider legs. And I went ahead and looped that in there too. I should have given my flower a shake because I have a lot of glitter coming out of the nooks and crannies. I didn't give it a shake and tap it off. So I just slid that in like so. Just kind of feeding it through the little brad legs. Making myself another little loop. You can just trim off the excess. So of course, I'm going to do that with my Fiskars scissors. On Fiskateer number 839. You can see that on the engraving there on my scissors. See? Hopefully you can see that. So with these little legs, I have this cool little wire on here. So I just went ahead and fed it right through. Close the feet on there, so it's not going to poke my head when I put this on. And I just made sure to close the brad legs crooked, so one up, one down. And this is a perfect way to ruin a manicure, so if you have like little pliers or something, it's probably better because these are like the mightiest little brads ever. So there you go. And it's been raining glitter here. But that's my finished project. A little Fiskateer flowered headband for Halloween. I hope you have fun in the blog hop today. Make sure you check out all my friends and leave a comment on my blog and you'll be entered to win a rack. Have a good time on the blog hop. Thanks for stopping by.